What are the consequences of picking the wrong person? We see stories every day of the consequences. Some man picked the wrong woman, and some woman picked the wrong man. So that's what today's episode is about. You made your bed. Now what? You got the wrong person laying in it, or do you got the right person laying in the bed? Let's talk about it today. So I'm gonna just go over real quick what I'm gonna be talking about. I'm gonna share a story of my experience picking the wrong person, picking the right person. I'm gonna show two experiences, man and a woman, and two or three stories of men and women picking the wrong person, and then I am going to show um why people pick the wrong person. And then I'm going to share a secret that a lot of married couples do not discuss. What happens before you get married and what things look like after you get married. I'm going to share that at the very end. So hang around so you can hear what I got to say about that. Let me go first into this first clip. This has been a story gone viral with this woman. I don't know if y'all seen it. This influencer. I'd never heard of her, didn't know anything about her. But her story is all over the internet of her unaliving. So let's watch some of this and then I'm going to talk stuff about it.
The death of Ashley Robinson. Her family is demanding answers after the influencer from South Jersey was found dead during a trip to Africa where she had just been engaged. Action News reporter Cheyenne Corinne joining us live in the Satellite Center with more on this heartbreaking story. Cheyenne.
Alicia, well, Ashley Robinson, she actually was raised locally in South Jersey, and now her death in Zanzibar is making headlines across the world. Well, today we spoke to her family in Delaware who say they aren't getting answers from her fiance or officials in Tanzania about what happened to her.
Uncertainty, mystery, anger, sadness. It's like a part of me has been taken away.
On April 5th, influencer Ashley Robinson, who goes by Ashley Janae on social media, was celebrating her 31st birthday in Zanzibar, Tanzania. She was on the vacation with her boyfriend of 1 year, who popped the question just 2 days before.
We believe that they were in love. We believe that their relationship was genuine.
Ashley's mother says she never would have expected that less than a week later, her daughter would be dead. On April 8th, she says Ashley called, saying she and her fiance got into an argument and were moved to separate rooms. The next day, she received another call, this time from her fiance.
He told me that Ashley did something to herself and that she was being taken to the hospital. I said, what happened when? And he told me it had been 11 hours prior.
Hours later, the luxury hotel the couple was staying at called saying Ashley passed away. According to the hospital's medical report, Ashley had an unidentified mark around her neck. They wrote, quote, according to the husband, he found she hanged herself on the door with several question marks.
Sometime Jill went back to the room with security, and that's how they found her.
Ashley was also taken to a second hospital who listed her cause of death as cerebral hypoxia by strangulation and suffocation.
She's never done anything that would ever lead me to believe that she would do something to harm herself.
She was not just going to be discarded and forgotten about.
And the family, as you just heard, they are just desperate for information. They tell us that they are requesting surveillance footage from the resort. They also say that they have contacted police, the consulate, and embassy, and have not heard back. No Action News, we also tried to contact Ashley's fiance, and we also did not get a response. The family says their next steps are going to Zanzibar themselves to try to get answers. We're live in the Satellite Center. Cheyenne Corinne, Channel 6. Action News, Rick.
All right, Cheyenne, thank you.
Sorry if the volume was kind of low on that. I tried to turn it up. I don't know if y'all was able to hear it any better, but oh Lord have mercy. That stuff is sad, sad, Jesus. Sad. Sad, sad. I don't know if you can, I don't know if y'all were able to hear that. I'm trying to work on this audio and all stuff. But I'm seeing all over social media, folks are like, he did it. And they're in Africa. They're in Tanzania, so we know folks really ain't gonna. They not gonna investigate it the way they would here in the U.S. I feel like he knew that, but here's another story. Here's another story. I'm gonna share another story of another black woman. There's a couple of stories, not just happening to women. Women, it's happening to men and women. So let's watch a little bit of this one.
Jersey community is coming together in remembrance of a mother of 4 taken far too soon. Friends and neighbors gathering for a vigil tonight honoring the life of Tamika Kamwani. Family members say that she was shot to death last week by her ex, who they say turned the gun on himself.
Our Shawnette Wilson with more on this heartbreaking story from tonight's vigil.
The victim was a nurse and a mother of 4. Tonight, the community lit candles in her memory while her family is demanding justice. Balloons released in memory of 41-year-old Tamika Kamwani. Family members say she was shot to death in an act of domestic violence. Her sister, Lakeisha Brooks, says tonight's turnout is overwhelming and comforting.
I know my sister was a good person, but I just never thought all of this.
She says Tamika worked as a nurse at different places, including Autumn Lake Memorial Bridge Nursing Home.
Her patients would call her even after the fact, after they left the facility.
Tamika has 4 children. They're pictured alongside her in this GoFundMe set up to help with her burial and their care.
2 of her oldest kids were in the house, and neither one of them want to go back in the house now.
The family says the person who killed Tamika then took his own life. It happened on March 28th inside Tamika's home here on the 300 block of Broad Street in Swedesboro. Woolwich Township Police have not released details, but a police activity post on the department's Facebook page referencing Swedesboro states, Woolwich Township officers, in coordination with the Gloucester County Prosecutor's Office, are currently conducting an active investigation in the 300 block of Broad Street. There is no active or ongoing threat to the public. Meanwhile, we reached out to the prosecutor's office. We are waiting to hear back.
He comes around to the family, to all the family functions, and I wish that she felt comfortable telling me. She immediately filed for a restraining order. She got the restraining order, and then she still wasn't protected.
Family talked about wanting better legislation regarding domestic violence, while others talked about the signs.
If they want to track your every step, that's not love. If they want to know who are your friends and who your social and everything, that's not love. That's called control.
Her aunt says she never thought this would happen to her niece, who was always happy, smiling, and respectful.
We just close. We all sort of do things all the time together, try to be at one another, functions and everything. So she's going to be missed.
There's a
Lord have mercy. Ugh, 4 children. Jesus. Without their mother because the mama picked wrong. Now, this ain't just about dating. This is life or death at this point. People don't take it seriously enough. They don't take it seriously enough for me. And I wanted to share, so I don't know if y'all, so there was a comparison with these two couples. So these were both influencers. The black dude was unalived by his white girlfriend. And they're, it's still allegedly, we're not sure. They haven't specified or clarified anything yet about the white man killing this young black woman. But it said death doesn't automatically earn my respect, especially when you had none for my life while you were alive. Ashley Janae is no different than Telbo Rackins. I don't condone the violence that took your life, but I cannot honestly support you. This one, whoever, our Kim Gibson. And what the issue is that both of these influencers he bashed black women and she bashed black men while they were with white people, to the detriment of their own lives before being unalived by white people. And I said that to say people have to realize demons have no color. It's not about race. I gotta fix my camera. The minute people start thinking that people are a problem because of their race, this is how we get unalived. This is how people get unalived. Because they are insisting on, Oh, I'm gonna be with white people because black people are the problem. I'm gonna be with black people because white people are the problem. I'm gonna be with Asians because Latinos are the problem. Devil don't got no race, child. Said, what a man. They be talking about police brutality and little Schmidt bit about gangbanging. No one is protesting this. Indeed. People is not talking about it enough. It gets swept under the rug. We kind of shake our heads until it comes close to home. We act like it's non-existent. We act like it's not a problem. It is definitely a problem. In every community, not in just white community, not in just black community. It's a problem in every community. On the lighter side of things, I wanted to show another example of what it looks like for men also when they pick wrong. Not to say women don't unalive men, but this is sometimes some of the consequences men have to suffer when they pick the wrong person, when they pick the wrong woman. This is what it's going to look like for them. Let me show that clip. Trent said, no race and no age. The devil is not prejudiced about who works for him. Indeed, he is not. What a man. Ironic. It really is. It is. And Lord have mercy. But I want to show this other clip of this woman, sad, aggravating lady, so confident, so cocky, and the panel shuts her down. Let's listen.
Is a man who is willing to take care of you, the kids, and the household, but has no ambition worth staying with.
When you say take care of, what do you mean?
He pays all the bills. He take care of the kids. He step in.
How he do that with no ambition?
No, he got money. I want more.
You know what?
And he's complacent.
Okay.
Yeah.
In the year when the job market is cooked, when the housing market is cooked, when people are walking away from their children, you got somebody at home that is paying your bills. He is taking care of you, and he is taking care of your kids, and you are figuring out, should I leave him? Are you cool?
Unfortunately, for a lot of men, there are so many women telling them you have to be more ambitious. And it's because they want the ambition to look like what they want it to look like. But his ambition is waking up every day and going to work, waking up every day and showing up for my children, showing up for my home. Like, that's just as ambitious. You know how ambitious you have to be when you are going through depression. Your girl is telling you you need to do more, and then you don't feel like you're good enough, but she don't know the mental and emotional and spiritual battles that you have and how you still trying to show up for your home. That's ambition, baby. Take a moment, read, I think it's 1 Timothy 5:8. Because what it talks about is a man who neglects his home is the same as a man who denies his faith. This man is taking care of his home. There is faith and grace in that. He is being provisional. He's still leading. So we have to acknowledge that, because if not, you're going to lose that. Like, that's a gem, baby.
I make my own money. I make more than him.
Ooh.
Right?
And you said he pays all the bills?
Yeah.
And you make more money?
Yeah.
You mentioned that you make more money than him, and I want you to know that was not done by mistake.
I'm gonna pause it there. She tells her how women are brainwashed. She stated that like, you know, like it mattered. Oh, I make more money than him, so he should be doing more. He picked wrong. I'm sorry. He picked the wrong woman. We know he picked her because she was cute. We know that. Because she obviously has no heart. What in the world, lady? Are you serious? I'm going to talk about some of those reasons later on. But I just wanted to share a story before I go into that with my own experience with picking wrong. As a teenager, my picking skills were just like everybody else's. Feeding the senses. Look good, smell good, feel good, sound good, taste good. All the senses. If I had picked what I thought I wanted, I would not be married to the man I was with, that I'm with right now. Even him. If he would have picked who he wanted, we would not be together. But because we listened to the Lord and not to our senses, not to what we thought we like, what we thought we want. Because what people get confused is chemistry. People think chemistry means we're supposed to be together. It looks good, feels good, sounds good. So what a man said, that's how Eve got Adam. Focused on lack. Indeed. Never satisfied. Women. She clearly got cute privilege. Clearly. But he looked like he got caught up in her beauty and didn't pay attention to the red flags. Because there's no doubt in my mind she was like that when she met him. Nonchalant, arrogant, and all he could do was focus on, oh, well, she cute. She doing all these things, all these sexual things. Not paying attention to nothing else. Not paying attention to nothing else until life got real. But one thing I realized even young, in my early teen years, was I could pick all these dudes. Oh, I really like that one. That one, I really like the way he talks. I really like these and that about him. The most sense I had as a teenager was to consult with God. Lord, who is for me? Who is my husband, Lord? Who is, because it was like my husband and I had all these side dudes. It was like, who is it? And the Lord showed me because I asked. And I'm like, are you sure, Lord? I hear you clearly, Lord. I'm bargaining. I'm like, am I making sure I'm, praying? I took time to pray and ask the Lord, make sure I'm hearing what I was hearing. And without a doubt, the Lord showed me who my husband was. And I was obedient. But let me tell y'all right now, there was nothing about me that my husband could look at me and say she would be a good wife. My husband was always hardworking. He was always loving, kind. But he had things about him that didn't necessarily say he would be a good husband. So we went on faith, not on what we saw, not what we heard, not what looked good, sound good, felt good. Because we both had issues. He was a car thief. He was a drug dealer. I was sleeping around, a liar, manipulative. We had issues. There was nothing about us that said our marriage would work. Let me be real. I was 19 years old and he was 20. He had barely graduated high school. There was nothing that we could look and say, oh, this is going to work. But God. This is why I encourage people to consult with the Lord to know who is for you. The question that I keep hearing asked is, does God pick your spouse? And the question to that is yes and no. Because I believe that, because I believe he gives us free will. I believe that he allows you to pick people, but he's going to tell you who is the best fit. I don't necessarily believe there's just one person. I believe the Lord will, based on who you pick, he'll let you know who is best for you. Because, sometimes it's people we like and the Lord may not pick them, but he's like, if that's who you want, he'll honor that. I believe. But when we pick who he wants for us, you have a better chance. Because that's it. My husband and I both will tell you the only reason we got married wasn't for us, wasn't for love. Because for me, God told me to. God told me that was my husband. And if you ask him, he did it so that his daughter have an opportunity to live in a stable home. He didn't do it for love. There was, like I said, there was nothing about us that told us, that gave us any inclination that our marriage would work. I got to just clarify that. I'm not saying go around marrying anybody who, whatever. If this, listen to the warning signs, but guess who know the end from the beginning? But God. Nobody but God knows that individual, the end from the beginning. So that's who you listen to. Because we could be with somebody, feel good, chemistry's good, it goes well, we're happy, we're having fun. Oh, he makes me laugh. I love everything about him. He says all the right things. He makes me feel like a woman. That doesn't last. You get 5, 10, 20 years down the line, is that person still making you feel that way? And 9 times out of 10, no, they're not. So got to be very careful with the decisions we make, with who we select, because like we saw, it's life and death. I gotta make sure I'm checking these comments, but okay. So some of the reasons people pick the wrong person, as I mentioned before, We think chemistry is all is it matters. We think it's the end all be all. Chemistry is exactly that. Chemistry is a chemical reaction in the body. Touching, hearing, what you touch, what you see, smell, feel. All of these create chemical reactions in the body and are not lasting in a relationship. They fade away, just like any kind of chemical mixture. The fire, anything will begin to fade. It'll subdue. It doesn't stay sparking. Okay. And then after I go over these 4 reasons people pick the wrong person, I'm gonna go over secrets people have to deal with from being single to being married. But okay, the second reason, like I mentioned, we don't consult with the Lord. You picking the wrong person because you're not asking the Lord, who is this? Who is your son, Lord? Who is your daughter? Is this the person you have for me, Lord? What is it I'm not seeing in this person that you want me to see, Lord? Tell me how to move forward. We're not asking the Lord's guidance. And then when things don't work out, we blame God. He ain't got nothing to do with that decision. You made that decision on your own. So be clear on that. Number 3, we pick people for the wrong reasons. We pick them. I heard women say, "Oh, he made me laugh, cause he pay all the bills, cause she, took care of my kids, cause she, whatever, cause she do all these sexual favors, or because he always makes sure I eat, or whatever reasons. Any reason that is not because God told you is the wrong reason. I know people don't want to hear that. I know that's going to upset a lot of folks, but that's what it is. Any reason that isn't because God said is the wrong reason. Because you love them. That don't last. Because they make you feel good. Because they make you feel important. Because they make you feel special. None of that's going to last. If it isn't because the Lord told me that was my wife. The Lord showed me that was my wife. Because the Lord showed me that was my husband. If it's not, that's not the reason. It's the wrong reason. Point blank, period. And lastly, I will say, which is something the Lord kind of brought to me that I didn't even think about. A lot of people pick the wrong person because they're with them and they're afraid to leave. They feel stuck. You feel like you with this person now, so now you have to make it work. And that's a lie, straight from the pit of hell. Especially folks start sleeping with folks, now they feel obligated. Or someone took care of you when you were sick, now you feel obligated. Or you took care of them while they were sick, now they owe you. No, don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to them. Some people are just seasonal. Know what the season is. Know when it's time to hold on. Know when it's time to let go. But you don't owe nobody nothing. Be praying in the midst. Is that my person, Lord? Is this who you have for me? Don't feel obligated to be with nobody. That's the worst feeling. That's like you in prison in your own house. You with somebody because you feel like you have to be. Don't do that to yourself or them. And lastly, I just want to share this quick secret that so many married couples, me and my husband were talking about this a few days ago. So many married couples don't discuss this, especially if you're in a marriage where you and your spouse kind of started out sleeping together before you got married. My husband and I were promiscuous teenagers. We were sleeping together before we got married. We had a time of celibacy before we got married to just kind of cleanse our palate, so to speak, before we got married. But so the struggle when you're single is staying pure, right? Staying away from sex, fighting the temptation of fornication. That's the struggle before you get married when you're single. After you get married, listen, the struggle after you get married is to continue to sexually desire your spouse. You almost have to tell your flesh to want sex with your spouse. Now, it's something different when you have sex with, you have sex outside the marriage. I'm pretty sure for a lot of people that's like effortless. But having to stay interested and sexually active and sexually stimulated in your marriage takes work. So the battle of the flesh before you get married is not having sex outside of marriage. The battle of the flesh after you get married is continuing to have sex with your spouse consistently and enjoying it and making sure they enjoy it. That's a new battle. So what's easier, being single or being married? It depends. It depends on your view of this of the situation. But I would say each situation has its easy and hard moments. Being single is easier in some ways, and being married is easier in some ways. You really can't compare the two. They're two very different life life stages of life. They're two very different experiences. Some single has its hard, being married has its hard. Single has its easy, being married has its easy. They're both to be respected and appreciated in that time, in that season. So know your seasons. But that's all I have for today. Man, I'm like, let's consult with the Lord before we pick partners. And sign up for tomorrow's event. I have the link in the description so you can sign up. Come through. I'm going to go into more detail about picking the right person, how to eliminate the wrong people, how to pick the right person, and what it looks like consulting God. It's so important in this dating to marriage journey to make sure the Lord is the forefront of your decisions, because a lot of times we are our biggest enemies in our decision making. Pride, ego, lust, everything that is ungodly. And a lot of times those are what guide our decisions. So how do we dig that stuff out? How do we eliminate those ungodly decision making tools that we've become so comfortable with? How do we get rid of them? So that's what I'm going to be going over in more detail tomorrow. Make sure you sign up in tomorrow's description. I look forward to seeing you guys there. So excited about it. This is my first virtual workshop, my dating to marriage workshop. I had to change the name because everybody call their stuff dating to marriage. So I wanted to do something completely different. So if the title is weird, that's why. Just go on a completely different route. But blessings to you guys. Let me know your thoughts. Share with me what you've experienced, good and bad experiences, how you knew you picked the wrong person, how you knew you picked the right person. I'd like to know your experiences. Otherwise, thanks for watching. I love you guys. This is